So epic.
What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey, as usual. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. And as you can see, we got my guys Reese and Freddie on the show. What's good, boys? Reese, talk to me, man. Since you raised your hand first, how's everything going?
Hey, man, season 5. Let's get it.
Season 5. That's an interesting building name. I guess we'll circle back to that. Freddie, how's everything going with you?
Hey, well, real quick, you said season 5. I thought he was saying season 5 as if this is going to be the 5th season of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum not winning the ring. It's an elite backcourt duo.
You could have just said Knicks in 5. You could have just said Knicks in 5.
Knicks in 5. Bing, bong. After this day, we'll be up 3-1, and we probably will let them get the game. Well, we can't. No, in 5, we can't. Never mind. We're taking them now in Cleveland.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
This is for you.
Oh, wow. That's all right. On that note. So, look. Damn, that just... How to mess up a mood on a show, people. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you do it. Let's go to the Gap trivia.
All right, real quick. My point. I don't want to... Listen, Cam Reddish, after we win this ring...
So, the first round, right? We had the first round. So, we had a lot of injuries that happened. And the way I'm looking at it is, I see the Grizzlies as a team that my Lakers, can beat. I see the Lakers as a team that could get injured during any round in the series, just like every team. But I feel like Anthony Davis, every time the man jumps, it's an injury problem. Like that could legitimately happen. I don't see that with Jaren Jackson Jr. I haven't gotten that history so like I'm not scared.
But you see it with Ja. You see it with Ja,
right?
And he's the best player on that team. And because he plays so above the rim, he's literally putting his career at risk every time he jumps.
Right.
Especially guys are not giving up baskets at the rim. You know what I mean? So when you go up there, you expecting to get hit. You know what I mean? Like it's not a lot of guys who not jumping, especially in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Regular season, like I'm gonna let a buddy fly past me. But in the playoffs, where every possession matters, you know what I mean? Like it's like you saw it last night. I mean, John went for 45, but it's like if he didn't hit those 6 threes, you know what I mean, and really started making, but like people really step up to guard him. Like I'm gonna let you jump at Anthony Davis all night. I'm gonna let you jump at Jared Vanderbilt all night. And Roy Hachimura, I'm good with you jumping up there with them because they gonna hit you.
But see, that's what I'm saying. I favor us with this against the Grizzlies. But they're also a team that can beat us because of our own injury history.
I know.
Like
they already.
Look, you have John Morant who was injured. Yes, cool. We also have an older LeBron James who was just injured not too long ago. We have Anthony Davis who we've already talked about. So again, when I'm thinking about their stars versus our stars are more fragile. It seems like, especially at this place.
I think the only thing that is that we're talking wins and losses. Of course, we could always equate injuries into it with any team, right? I'm saying based on who's on the court right now. That's all I'm going off of. Because I'm not going to wish anybody or put that into the air for somebody to get hurt, So I'm just saying based off who's playing right now, what players are available today, that's all I'm saying. Now, if somebody get hurt, I'm right with you. Let's change that, that conversation up. But as of right now, with your Lakers healthy, I feel like the Grizzlies can't do anything with them.
I agree. When we're healthy, we should be fine. But again, every time, every game, every up and down, I'd be worried.
I guess my thing is the Grizzlies came into the series not healthy though. That's my thing. They're down 3 players. They're down both of their rotational bigs.
A lot of our talent is centered around the 2 guys who have been injured this year.
No,
so like
that's
the reason why. If there was just one, I wouldn't worry as much. That's the only thing. We should be getting hurt.
I would be more worried about them getting hurt if Steven Adams and Brandon Clark were there to show real resistance at the rim. I mean, Jaren Jackson Jr. had 3 fouls in the first quarter last night off of petty stuff. Like, he just don't. I hear you about JJ, but he really, he's probably, I sent it in the text thread. He may be the first decoy to average 5 fouls a game. That's I need somebody to really find that stat.
An all-star player who averages 27 minutes per game is an all-star player. Think about that. He averaged 27 minutes per game, bro. That is disgusting. But still,
he just did not stay on the court.
defense is crazy. But look, so what's the biggest surprise of this first round, right? From you guys thus far? I know every what?
I said health, just like every playoff run. Somebody's always like when we said it in the chat.
So is it a surprise if it happens every season? Should it be a surprise for you if it happens every season?
No, it's not a surprise. Oh, you think it was the biggest surprise?
Yeah, biggest surprise. What's the biggest surprise?
Freddie, here, I got you. Is the Clippers series for a couple of reasons. One, why Leonard just abruptly okay, I'm done. Like that literally caught me off guard. Like.
Because he had it was a knee injury, right? And then
he has arthritic knees and all that. But it's like, man, you look in that game 2 or 3, I forget. Once it was game 2, he looked amazing. It's like, dude, you was blowing by people, finishing dunks in traffic. You had to lift on your shots. You were hitting, you know what I'm saying? Mid-range, you gotta get lift to hit a mid-range jump shot, right?
Kawhi
now
is the reason why I say the Pelicans gotta get rid of Zion. It's just like
So Fred, what's the other one?
About that series is that the Clippers actually have been in every game, and they could easily be up 3-1 as well if they're down 1-3. So
I don't know about easily. I know why you say it, but like I look at it like, you know, that's still KD and D Book. Like they don't.
But I say only
I hear you though.
They've had double-digit leads, and they've been up late in those games. And that's all I'm saying. So
they
hold on to that with one of.
That's the reason why I'm like I'm not worried about. But yeah, I get you though. Like it could have happened like it's similar to last year, or maybe it's a little bit different between the Celtics and Nets. Like that could have very easily been 3-1. It could have been 2-2.
Completely different though, because of health. It's because of health. That's what I'm saying. It's completely different. I think Freddie's point is the guys like Kawhi sat out, and like PG's not playing. That series, everybody on the court, games was won. That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy. I miss Ben Simmons playing, but we'll move on. Reese,
you missed Ben Simmons playing the last 2 years, my dog. You've missed Ben Simmons.
I'm saying that played a factor into that series. That played a factor.
He choked away the series last time he was in the playoffs.
They would have been very much more easily guarded if Ben Simmons was on the court.
Oh man, we're going
Well, look, Reese. What was your biggest surprise of the first round so far?
I won't call it a surprise, but I'm genuinely happy that the Nuggets are up 3-0. Like, don't get me wrong, though, the Timberwolves are hurt, another team that is hurt. No Jaden McDaniels, which is huge in my opinion, especially when you talk about somebody with length to actually stay in front of Jamal Murray. Like, Ant-Man is trying his hardest, but at the end of the day, he still has to give you 25 and under somehow, right? And so it's like, I'm like I said, I'm happy that the Nuggets are beating this team could get beat in the first round by low seed allegations. Now I think next round against the Suns, it will be like, in my opinion, like I got the Nuggets in that series right now, just based on how the Suns are playing against the Clippers. Like I do think, like defensively, they're gonna have. And don't get me wrong, I get that Devin Booker's leading the playoffs and stocks and all of that stuff, which is cool. But I'm saying like defensively, I think that the Nuggets coach. Like I think Ty Lue, like I guess it's going back to what Freddie said. Like I think based on how Ty Lue is coaching, especially like the Clippers could easier. Like if things had been falling in their favor in terms of health, it could have been a real series. So I think the Nuggets, like I think that series is gonna go 6 or 7 games. And so
I agree with you. I did like the fact there was I saw a quote from Jokic where he said, "I didn't want to give the Timberwolves any life." And I'm like, I appreciate that. That's a mindset. That's a solid mentality to have in the playoffs that honestly everyone should have, but not everyone does. And so that gave me a little bit more hope. Personally, I put $10 on the Nuggets to win the championship over the summer, just because a friend told me the Nuggets and the Hawks was going to go to the finals. And I'm like, that sounds wild as hell. I won't put any money on the Hawks, but I'll do something on the Nuggets just cause. And so I might keep them there for a little bit longer. I could cash out right now for about $17. I might let it ride for a little longer.
Their defense that they've been playing, and this is something that I've been super surprised by in that series. Other than the Mike Conley's unraveling last game, their defense, the Denver Nuggets defense, has been phenomenal, bro. I watched them yesterday or whenever they played, either yesterday or 2 days ago, and attention on to little details on defense, bro, and just their whole scheme overall has been like brilliant, bro.
Do you
Yeah,
feel like
it's great. So I got to give them credit for that because I was watching.
Do you feel like their defensive scheme could hurt someone like the Suns? When I look at the Suns, man, like how do you guard them? You got you have man-to-man defense. You got zone. Like they can attack any of those situations. So
all you can do versus the Suns, bro. And Ty Lue, I give him credit. He's been brilliant in switching it up every time, keeping the Suns off guard, so that they aren't getting the same looks, right? Not when that's all you can do because you got D-Book, you got KD, and then you got Chris Paul, who is just he's a computer, has all this in his database. You just got to play them man to man, maybe switch everything and just hope that they miss occasionally, right? But no matter what you do for them, you can't stop them. What Denver's doing, they will lose by 20 trying to do against Phoenix.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think Rudy and what's buddy name? I can't think of the guy named on Timberwolves team, but No, not Cat. I'm talking about in terms of like not being able to stretch the floor because I think that's really what I was kind of saying about in the Nets versus Boston series last year. Like the ability to give guys who are elite scorers space is your biggest advantage. You know what I mean? And so it's like I think like Freddie said, the defense in that series has been great. But but the fact that DeAndre Ayton, I love that, and I wish I could put money on Ayton every night because they got his point line at like 15 points, bro. And I'm like, bro, 8 field goals made for a guy who is 7'1", you know what I mean? Playing next to three pick and roll guys.
You got KD and D-Book who have been scoring a lot. So I mean, I can't.
No, but hear me out. No, hear me out. I'm talking about in terms of every time that Ayton has been put into a pick and roll with D-Book, CP3, and KD, he has been open. That is my point. Their scores naturally talking about KD and D-Book, you know what I mean? But they easily could drop the ball off to Ayton for a floater, for a mid-range shot. I'm saying like the opportunities are there for him, and I think they're gonna have to. Yeah, and I think they're gonna have to bring somebody like Jokic out of the paint and really use Ayton. You know what I mean, and not just use him as a placebo. Like they really need to focus on getting him in a rhythm in this Clippers series because he's going to be very important against Jokic.
Yeah, to your point though, last game. He's knocking those mid-range shots down.
Yeah, but
if he's able to showcase that mid-range, that unlocks them tremendously.
Yeah, so Torrey Craig's been balling out, bro. He's having like 16, 17 a game. Like, so
I hate that we leave professional basketball players wide open. Torrey Craig has never been
How do you hate that?
No, because Torrey Craig has never been a sub 30% shooter from three. You know what I mean? It's not like the scouting report says leave Torrey Craig wide open. They literally have Ivica Zubac guarding. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's literally his job is to catch and shoot and play defense. And they have Zubac guarding him from the paint. It doesn't that's the only thing that the Clippers are doing defensively that I have not agreed with personally. But I get it though. It's like, what do you do? Like y'all said, when you got KD, D-Book, and CP3, what really can you do? Somebody I guess has to be open. But in my opinion, like you're literally daring a professional basketball player to just make it wide open. I mean, you're in the arena by yourself at that point. Like nobody within 10 feet of you. Like, come on, bro.
But it's gonna remind. I think it's gonna remind people a lot about the Warriors offensively because again, everybody can score. Like even Ayton, if he can ever get that 3 ball to hit like he was pegged to have coming out of Arizona, he can showcase that a little bit. This team offensively would be scary.
I have no desire to put Ayton at the 3-point line.
If he's out there and can keep the team honest, I'm not talking about all game. A couple of times, that's not a problem to me. Like you still got KD who's 7 foot out there. D-Book can get a rebound, so I have the personnel to get that.
He was taking a few of them last year.
Well, I'd like to see that evolution for him, like that, like just being able to get his own shot, and now like give me some of Marcus Aldridge. Like if you can do that with his talents, like I like the Suns team. Are they?
Next thing you know, you end up with a Julius Randle type player that shoots.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like you really got to let him game.
I mean, look, Freddie, I don't understand why you're down right now. Well, I mean, I understand why the Knicks are down right now. I don't understand why you're down right now. Like you should already know they were going to tie this series up. It's going 7, brother. It's going 7. Like look,
bro,
look.
we
Stop
were up
looking
by
at
like
the screen.
15.
Stop hurting yourself. Stop killing yourself.
We
I
were
see
up
you.
by
I see you looking back up the screen, up and down every time. I seen 2 tears come down your eye, Freddie. Like, let it go. Just let it go. You lost game 4. Okay, you lost game 4. I don't know what to tell you. But
nah, man, it's a 1-point game. We just need Julius to stop jacking up threes, man.
I hear you. I did that because I wanted to make a transition. Do y'all feel like the Cavs and the Knicks is the most interesting series in the first round?
No. Clippers.
No. Clippers Suns.
Yeah, I think Clippers Suns has been the most, because Russell Westbrook deserves his respect, man.
Get at man.
Straight up, man. Straight up, bro.
Listen,
Straight
man.
up, bro. Like Freddie said, if Kawhi
It's a
Leonard
nice redemption tour. It's a nice redemption tour. But like it's not
a redemption tour, bro. Y'all just didn't use the man. No, it's not redemption. This is who
from the fans' perspective, Russell Westbrook has been garbage. So now that he's hooping, it's going to be viewed as a redemption tour. But people are going to put a spin on it. Oh, he just can't play with stars. He has to play with a team by himself. Right?
But Trey.
That's what someone's going to say.
This is beautiful. Yeah. So he's not made to be a number 3 guy. He's a point guard, a guy who's had the ball in his hand for the majority of games. Now you got 2 people controlling the ball ahead of him. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense logically, right? So check this out.
When you say he can't be a number 3 option on a championship team, like what's the main reason why you say that? Because I kind of
maximize who is your point guard, who's a superstar point guard, who's had a high usage rate his whole career. Now you want him to come in and be a spot-up shooter, which Frank Vogel did, or you want him to come in and kind of pick and
we did that more so
because he doesn't play off of efficiency. Every player is not an efficiency player.
I think we did that more so because of Braun and the fit, but
what's that?
I think we did that more so because of Braun and the fit. Because if I have Russell Westbrook as my point guard, I might get more scoring-minded play, like more. You know what I'm saying? Like he can help their games out, like and get them the ball easier.
Trey, y'all are trying to let D'Lo. I watched y'all let D'Lo was a game 2. D'Lo control the game, and it killed y'all because he's not a guy that can do that consistently in a winning fashion.
He's a basketball player.
Yeah, y'all can let D'Lo be our catch and shoot guy. What I'm saying is for the Clippers, Paul George can be a number 2 or 3 option because he has that mentality anyways. He already admitted that. Let him catch and shoot. Let Russ and Kawhi be the 1 and 2 guys, and let PG catch and shoot because he's great at it. That'll open up that team so much. And imagine a guy closing out on Paul George, and now he's attacking you. Attacking you while you're closing out, and you're at his mercy, right? Like. I think the Clippers have found out how they can let Russ get the ball and he's gonna turn the ball over occasionally. Yeah, he's not gonna.
I don't know how we got back to the Clippers, fellas.
We give him his flowers.
So
because you asked about what been the most interesting series. You said
again, when I said most surprising series, when I said most entertaining, most interesting, like that. It's not as interesting as this Knicks Cavs one. Like when I'm looking at when I look at the competition, I see a Suns roster who's contenders, and I see Clippers who aren't anymore. Like it's not interesting to me. Like we already knew, especially with PG out in the first game, hey, it's probably going to go to the Suns. The first game made it a little more interesting. But end of the day, I feel like it went the way we all kind of expected. This Knicks Cavs, it looks like it's going. It looks like it's going 7, fellas.
So Trey,
7 over 5.
Real quick to that point, the Suns Clippers series has been back and forth. If you're watching those games, it's great, very good. It's good basketball. At the end, there's some suspense. The Knicks Cavs have been all blowouts, bro.
That's what I'm saying. They're not even scoring 100 points. They're not even scoring 100 points.
And then that point as well, right?
How is that
so Clippers Suns has been crazy, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. Even though it's one of those series, it's like, okay, what are we right now? 3-1 right now. They're at.
Yeah, I think the like entertaining part is that the Suns should win based on like who's on the court, right? But it's the fact that the games are not blowouts. And that up until the last like 5 minutes of each game, you don't know who's gonna win until you realize, oh yeah, like the Kawhi's not on the court. It's like,
yeah, but again, ultimately, I know we gotta move on. I feel bad that Russ gets this rap because whenever he balls out and hoops, people say, "Oh, well, he can't do it on a winning team, or he can't do it." He's playing against KD, D-Book, and Chris Paul, for one, or he can't do it with other stars. Well, most stars can't be a number 3 option if you're a superstar, anyways. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't usually work out, especially if you're not a shooter. So I'm happy he's just filling some of these, not all of the narratives. There's always going to be a narrative for him, but I'm happy he's balling out and he's going to get a paycheck next year.
That's tough. I feel like any star can adapt and become a third option if they want to. You got to remove your ego a little bit. I don't think you necessarily want to go from the guy to like the third option because you've been the guy for so long. But like Kobe didn't want to necessarily play after so long. He could still play, but he wanted to play at a certain level. So I think you actually can. I think you can. I'm saying you can be a third option. You just have to remove. I'm saying you have to remove your ego.
I think
ego, I don't get where ego comes into play. The evidence is that he's not saying
skill set. Like, because Russ isn't a great catch and shoot player. Like,
Thank you, Reese.
You can still be. You can't tell me this man can't be a third option. Like
he's not a shooter. Your third option.
What I'm saying, I'm trying to give a good example though, right? Kevin Love was a first option superstar player who became a third option, but that's because he could legitimately catch and shoot and stretch the floor, playing off of a player like Bron, you know what I mean, and Kyrie. Whereas I think Freddie, his last point before you said what you said about the ego thing was Russ' inability to be a great volume catch and shoot player makes it harder to be a third option. I don't disagree with that. It does make it harder because, I mean, as a third option, you're getting a lot of catch and shoot. You know what I mean? You're asked to stretch the floor. That's usually what third option.
And your attempts are down.
I feel like y'all are not adding accountability to this situation. Everyone can always learn how to shoot. Like you cannot tell me you cannot. Okay, that's fine. We can agree to disagree. But everybody can learn how to shoot. I saw Jason Kidd go from someone who can't to someone who can now knock that 3-point down. And they have a similar style game. Like you cannot tell me over the course of his career that Russell Westbrook could not adapt to the game and start shooting a little bit better. Because guess what?
So can I say this?
He's shown you in small sample size. Oh, you said what?
He's been shooting very fine in this role now that he's.
And that's what I was about to say. He's been shooting decently in this small sample size. So you cannot tell me that Buddy cannot be a third option in the league. Like, I don't believe that personally. If y'all feel that way, cool.
But he hasn't been a third option on the Clippers, right?
I'm saying he can be. The statement what you made earlier was he can't be to win. He cannot be a third option on a contending team. I disagree. That was my point. That was all. I was curious about that statement. That was all.
I mean, he's 14 years in the league.
I can see how it could be.
But I'm saying he can adapt. He should be able to adapt. You keep saying like he hasn't been. Everyone
knows. At year 14, you're telling the guy who's played one way, who literally just came from an environment where he was playing that way as well. It's not like he's had a long transition period. Is Russell
Westbrook being the 1 or 2 option going to give me a championship? Let me help you out. No. So now you have to adapt. So now you have to adapt, and if you can't adapt, you have to get out the league. It's that simple. Look at Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony was very serviceable. All right, fine, but you see how people treated Melo though.
Well, bro,
like it happens.
Years in the league, that's why.
If you cannot adapt,
15, 16 years in the league, you're not going to be a number 1 or 2 option in the championship team.
So you have to adapt then, right? That's what I've been preaching this entire time.
Well, what I'm saying is this, bro. All right, so hopefully I can make this. So if you've never been played off of efficiency or anything, right? For your whole entire career, 14, 15 years in the league, you've played this way, you've been a 1 or 2 guy. Like, mind you, I don't think Russ is going to win a ring. So I just want to put that out there, okay? I think if Kawhi and PG were both healthy, that in order for them to win a ring, PG would have needed to be number 3, okay? Now, when you have something like that, yes, you can win a ring. You have depth, you have elite coaching, you have 3 guys that are super talented and can give you 30, right? Maybe even 4 with Powell. That's a situation, sure. But are you saying, if you're asking me if I think Russ can come in and be a number 3 option right now as a catch and shoot guy when he's never been a catch and shoot guy for 14 years of his career, for you to expect for him to just come in and turn into that right away, that's not going to happen that late into your career, bro. It's just never happened. Give me an example of an NBA superstar who has done that. 14, 15 years of their career. Carmelo even struggled with it, but Carmelo was at least a very good shooter. So he eventually kind of, okay, but at that point, he was a 5th, 6th, 7th option on the team. So
I
he
said
literally
Jason
only
Kidd
had
already, but
Jason Kidd, I was
early
gonna
in
say
his career, he
Jason
got his
Kidd
jump
never
shot.
shot
Jason
25%
Kidd 2 years
from the
in learned how to
three-point
shoot.
line. I'm about to say Jason Kidd started out his career as a 38% 3-point shooter though.
But yeah, he got better immediately.
all I know is you can adapt, such as someone like Julius Randle on your Knicks. Like, he was not known as a shooter on Kentucky. Now the brother shoots relatively decent. He's respectable from the 3-point line. And it helps out with his game. So he could actually become a 3rd option on a championship team if need be.
So.
Like,
yeah. But that's different too, because he's already been a shooter since he came to the league. Like Kentucky, I get what you're saying, but since he was not a shooter
he was not a shooter on the Lakers, and he was up there for a while.
Since New Orleans, Jupac has been shooting, bro, and he's gotten better and better. Like I don't think
he's worked on it.
Career yet, bro.
So
like,
he's working on it.
Talking about a guy 15, 16 years into his career versus a guy who's learned how to shoot early on. I think it's 2 different conversations.
That's crazy. And you're acting like we just started shooting threes this season. Like, we've been shooting threes for a while now, but I guess accountability doesn't mean nothing then. So onto a new topic then. Who do you guys have more? Who you guys worry more about, the Bucks or the Celtics, in getting out of the first round?
The Bucks.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, no love for the Hawks.
Giannis isn't playing, bro. We're healthy. I mean, Jaylen Brown got a cut in his hand, but like we're healthy. We should not lose to the Hawks. The Bucks.
So if y'all get tied, so if the series is tied 2-2, what's your trepidation level looking like then? Are you worried? Celtics in 6. Okay.
They go up 3-2. Celtics in 7. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, it's at some point, like, I don't know, I just really hate it that like Boston is like I feel like the only like high seeded team next to the Nuggets, which is why I sent y'all that article a while back about who's most likely to, you know what I mean, shit the bed in the playoffs, Nuggets or the Celtics, and it's just like I feel like the C's, I mean, like we've literally been to the Eastern Conference Finals or better like for the past like 7 years, bro, and it's just like still every season it's like, oh, the guys are young. Oh, like, you know what I mean? They ain't got Jimmy Butler. You know what I mean? They ain't this. But it's like, damn, like, at the end of the day, we talk about winning. Just like we talk about winning. We were the best team in the East up until a 17-game win streak for the Bucks. You know what I mean? Like, best team in the league. And still, we have the 2nd best record in the league. It's like, we should not.
Y'all won a crazy win streak to end the year, too, though.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, the Bucks, however, they lost Giannis to a back injury, which is serious. Like, that back injuries, it ruined like in careers. Seriously.
So do the Heat end up beating? Well, I guess that's going to transition. That's the next topic. We'll save that there. So, Reese, let me ask you this, right? Let me paint this picture. The Hawks win. Okay, Hawks win first round. Get y'all out of there. I'll even give you 7. What do you do with your team? Do you start to, like, as a fan, right? As a fan, do you start to now believe maybe you should trade Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum? Like, is that popping into your head now?
We have another first-year head coach in the playoffs, bro. It's just like, can we lose to the Hawks? Yes, but it's like, damn, can we get consistency at the top of our organization? We just have not had that. You know what I mean? Like, we went from Brad Stevens, who couldn't coach stars, well known throughout the entire league. He could not handle star egos and star presence, especially when it comes to role players who feel like they can outplay stars. We get Ime, he has a consensual relationship. Somehow, Jason Richardson can have a baby with Steve Nash's wife, and that is covered up. But the Celtics can't cover up Ime Udoka having a consensual relationship and keep that man job. Now he about to go to Toronto. Let's talk about him going to Toronto. He go to Toronto, it's over for the East. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah,
all he needs is wings.
One shot.
No,
he got wings. He got wings. All he needs is to make sure one of them boys is gonna be a go-to player. And
bro, they trade Fred VanVleet, bro. They're gonna be right where they need to be, bro.
I did think
that. If we lose to the Hawks, I'm gonna be sad, but it's like Joe Mazzulla has had many red flags as a head coach all season. Now I feel like
should he be on the hot seat? he be on the hot seat next year?
Who?
Joe Mazzulla. Like, should he be on the hot seat?
When you make an interim head, when you make an assistant coach, an interim head coach, and then give him the extension for no reason, I personally don't think we should have given him the extension. I personally feel like you make him coach through the playoffs and make him prove that he can literally lead this team somewhere farther or as far as Ime did. Then you give him an extension. But I feel like we jumped the gun on that personally.
Okay. Freddie, what's your thoughts on Joe Mazzulla? Because I wanted to give him the heartfelt, fan bias perspective. But then, is your answer any different from Reese's, or is he spot on?
Was my answer heartfelt and biased? I feel like I was pretty
Well, it's naturally going to be again when we talk about Cam Reddish, Freddie, shut up. And when we talk about Cam Reddish, mine is naturally just going to be biased.
No, but I feel like I guess I didn't. Maybe I didn't end it correctly. What I'm saying is we extended him, but I'd fire him. I'd go get a guy. I would have never given. That's why I said I would have never given him the.
So hear me out though, right? Because the brother did lead y'all to a 2 seed. And in his first year, interim head coach, got promoted, cool, got you an extension. You even talked about him in the offseason when y'all first got him, Danny Ainge really rocked with this man, and they ain't want to let Buddy go. So now, is it unfair to put him on the hot seat, Freddie? Because, Reese is saying fire him. I understand why. You were just at the mountain.
I'm being dramatic. I understand you have to give a coach an offseason. He didn't get a true offseason without distractions. So I understand why he was giving. That's what I'm saying though. And to go back to your first question about the Celtics losing to the Hawks. It's we were just dealt a shitty hand from jump. I feel like, and we played great with it, but it's it's tough.
Shitty hand's kind of crazy. That was quite a hand that y'all had dealt. I ain't gonna hold you, Freddie. How long would you want to keep Joe Mazzulla around?
I think he's not giving Joe Mazzulla enough credit. Y'all have a better record than I had last year, a better seeding, right? Than y'all had last year.
No,
y'all were what?
No, we were both the
exact same.
Same seed, everything.
So okay, so
record
exact
two?
same seed.
Record 2, wins and losses.
I think we have maybe +3 wins, bro.
Yeah, so you have more wins. So more wins, right?
Off of the momentum of last year, though. Just put it out there.
But no. You got something you're overlooking, right? Off of the drama from last year, y'all had a huge cloud over y'all coming into this year. So that matters, right? Now he has the pressure of y'all getting to the finals last year. He has to come in and grab the ear and the heart of the city, of the organization, of the players, and make them play for him. Y'all came out the gate snapping. Now,
how much time that is though? How much time do you give someone like that? Because I'm thinking.
That's exactly what I'm getting to. Is he's not giving him credit for when things have gone wrong. He's found ways to adjust. We didn't talk about Derek White right now the way we talked about him last year, the way we talk about him now. He's made that adjustment. No. 6 man of the year, Malcolm.
Light skin slander has got to stop.
No. What I'm saying is Derek White
Robert
joined
Williams is on the bench.
Hear me out. Derek White joined us trade deadline. He did not get an off season with the Celtics. He had a training camp.
Joe Mazzulla didn't get an off season with y'all.
I'm talking about in terms
of
let him talk.
I'm
talking about in terms of player development, though.
Yeah,
Rob.
All I'm saying.
Freddie, let him talk.
But Freddie was answering. I'll cut him off.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is, this Derek White experiment, bro. It's like you said, Derek White has been a good player since San Antonio. I'm not saying that. That's why y'all went out and got him. That's why y'all investing, right? So I'm not saying, but he's found out. Okay, Derek White in this starting lineup, because y'all started the year off with Derek White and Brogdon both on the bench. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, but that's okay. So I'm gonna say this real quick. Yeah. It actually took the Boston media pressuring Mazzulla to the last 15 games to actually end. Derek White was not closing games, bro. He was actually not.
Marcus Smart got hurt at one point too, right?
Hey fellas, I'm gonna just throw this in here real quick. Boston Celtics last year had 51 wins. This year they got 57. Carry on.
So 6 games.
So everything that's happened so far, because you were talking, we're on a historic offensive pace, and y'all were. Yeah. Have been actually this year. Y'all still are in the top 10 all time.
It was premature though, like we told.
I mean, we're actually the only team. We're the only team this year top 3 And
I think the most important thing he did, Reese, is put Rob Williams on the bench. I'm gonna be honest.
I think Rob put Rob on the bench though, Freddie.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's tough. That's physical.
I don't know if
he ain't been healthy for real.
Like he may
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like I think a lot of the decisions that Joe Mazzulla made were like
pressure.
It was like damned if you do, damned if you don't type of thing.
Yeah.
But I also feel like it was like obvious to most people. Like for example, Derek White closing games. He did not start doing that until the last 15 games of the season. When all season we struggled in clutch time.
But he did it.
Why does it have to? It wouldn't have taken somebody who was there from the beginning. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm being unfair to Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah,
because I'm really upset with Boston. I'm really upset with Boston and how we handled the whole situation.
And
that's really what it is.
Yeah. So one thing I'll come to the defense on Reese is that in game, when you talk in game, there's times where I've looked, I was like, why didn't he make this adjustment? Why out of a timeout are y'all not able to get a good possession out of a timeout? Why, defensive lapses out of things like that, late in game, certain stretches, it's just like, okay, he needs to kind of call timeout, get these guys, back locked in, whatever it may be. He's had those first-year coaches situations for sure. But, I mean, you think about somebody like a David Blatt, who first year, right? He ultimate success. Of course, you got a LeBron on your team, but you can see it. I feel like we got to at least give him until next year to see what comes of it. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, what he's done is amazing. And unless you just want to go back out there and get Nick Nurse or something like that,
Dwayne. I wanted Dwayne Casey when the news broke. That's who I wanted. I wanted Dwayne Casey.
Okay.
But I'll say this: as long as
Joe Mazzulla's too young.
I don't think he's too young, but I think the entire league. I mean, even the Cavs coach is like 34, 35. Like I think the whole league is going towards this whole like young coach thing. The NFL is doing the same thing. It's like let's get some young guys to like lead these teams. But it's like at the end of the day, like you ain't seen enough hoops, man. When you go up against
blame it on Sean McVay. They thought Buddy was gonna be a prodigy. Not everybody want to be in the headline.
You see what I'm saying, Trey? You see what I'm saying?
But you also got to kick some of the old ass folk out too now. Like some people be standing there too long.
But I think Dwayne Casey was done like Melo. I think Dwayne Casey was done like Melo. That shit was unfair, bro. That shit was unfair. You just blackballed him. Hey,
but for real, maybe Dwayne Casey was treated decently because them boys might end up getting Victor Wembanyama. So all I'm saying is, like he might have gotten
if they don't get Victor, you don't get Scoot because you got Cade and Jaden Ivey.
Yeah.
So then, you know what I mean? So then it's like after the first, like,
why can't I get Scoot? Why can't I get Scoot? Why can't I get Scoot?
Cade and Jaden Ivey, bro.
I'm a draft Jaden. I'm gonna have Killing Hayes to the bench, and I'm a scoot to the starting lineup.
They gotta get one of the twins from overtime.
Nah, champ. Because I think Scoot can
actually play. Twins over there.
I think Scoot can play the two guard spot. He's a stocky guard, and he's what? He's 6'4", right?
Yeah, no, he can play. I think Scoot can definitely play the two.
Him and Jaden Ivey can run that combo guard, and you also got Cade there as well, who's a guard too. So I think it can work out.
Can I raise my hand on that, bro? You can't have 2'6" young guards. You need 2'6" veteran guards that know. Like I just watched Jalen Brunson lock up Evan Mobley in a post, and I'm not even joking. He fronted him, stayed in his legs, and then he spun around backside. He couldn't back him down and had to shoot a little awkward fadeaway. Those young guys ain't got that in them yet. I don't want two young 6'2" backcourt guards, personally.
Not unless I'm trying to go back into the lot.
Yeah, but I think you need Jaden Ivey to be able to continue
to grow
how great he is, bro.
If I got the bigs we got, I can get them three boys playing well.
Big guys.
The Pistons. As the Pistons, you got Wiseman, Durant.
Wiseman ain't no threat, and
that's crazy. I think they're a little bit. They're not in the playoffs. They're not in the playoffs.
Right.
They're not in the playoffs, but they could be in a couple seasons. We'll see how it takes. The Bucks, though, fellas, the Bucks. Is there any worry? Freddie, I know you've been high on them. That's your team. Are you worried about them getting past the second round? I guess because this one, it could actually the first round.
First round.
First round.
I'm worried. So
how worried? Like, do you think now? Cause I think we said the Bucks would win. Did you change your answer a little bit?
Yeah, I'm super worried because one, like you said, Giannis' injury is a contusion on his tailbone. Two, because playoff Jimmy is there's only about 2 or 3 players I would choose over him in the playoff. And then three, for all this credit I gave Milwaukee's team for being to me the most complete team in the league. They're catching that word. I mean, the one game they won, they shot lights out from downtown. That was
they broke a record for 3.
Yeah, so I mean, Eric Spoelstra, Jimmy Butler, that combination against, Mike Budenholzer becomes that elite coach when he has Giannis. I don't think Milwaukee could beat him if they don't have Giannis. To be honest.
Okay.
Be honest.
I always say that too. It's funny how the name Giannis and honest rhyme so well. Sounds so similar. I think, bro, I ain't gonna hold you. What's the series right now? 2-1. Over the Heat.
Next game in Miami as well.
Out of respect for Drew, I want to say 6, but it feels like 5. Not even gonna lie. Like it feels like 5. Out of respect for Drew, I really want to be there with you, buddy. Like, I'm impressed by Bam. Like I know there were times where I'm. Oh, hear me out. Hear me out. So when I watched Buddy, right, I was always worried about him come playoff time. Is he gonna show the energy? The shot, I always know he's not gonna really. I don't think he's ever gonna be that 25 point per game score. Like I got that out of my head now. But the rebounding aspect, the defensive presence, the switching, like he's showing me a quality glue guy. And when I look at someone like him, I'm thinking, damn, what if he was on the Warriors? Like that would be kind of nice. Like I pretty much just from offensively, he has not been the best. It's been sufficient enough. And I think he's also undersized. So you got Kevin Love, but Kevin Love's not really like 6'10", right? And you're going up against Brook Lopez, you're going up against Bobby Portis and them, Giannis at one point. So, it is a tough little battle to go up against, and you're the main primary defensive anchor. So I will say from that standpoint, I've been impressed with Bam enough, plus with Jimmy. Not to mention, too, the way that Tyler Hero's out and they're playing well, that's very surprising, too. Shout out to Duncan Robinson. Yeah. Do you guys then expect the Heat, and I guess with this...
We have 2 things to say, Trey, and then
I was about to say, we about to close up.
I said, yeah. One, Knicks are up 3-1, and there's another playoff game where teams didn't score 100 points. So I just want to put it out there. 3-1, though, bing bong. And then 2, just wanted to get this facts on wax. Jamal Murray is the most important player for the Denver Nuggets' success when it comes in terms of winning the championship this year. The most important player on that team in terms of winning a championship.
All I know is don't KD wish he had went to the Knicks. Don't KD wish he had went to the Knicks.
We don't want him. We got Jalen. We got JB. The real JB.
All I'm saying is Jamal Murray cannot be a more valuable player or cannot be more important than the MVP candidate. He can be the most important complimentary player to Jokic. But to me, when I hear you say this, Freddie, it's who's the person to get me over the hump? And I feel like we're just kind of glossing over the rest of the journey. Like Jamal Murray's not gonna get me to a championship. Like when I think success to a championship,
neither will Joker by himself either. So I don't want you to think I'm saying if one is on the court, the other is not. That's not what I'm saying. One, Joker is the better players. That's not what I'm saying. 2, I'm talking if they're both on the court. I think Denver can still go along and win games if Joker's has a subpar game and Murray has a very good to great game, right? Perfect example, he carried them home versus when Ant was going off. It was Murray, literally ISO, scoring the toughest buckets from the perimeter. You need that type of player in the playoff games, right? Can you go and get me back-to-back buckets, right? Make shots from the outside, make shots from the middle, right? Break down the defense. Like with Joker, and usually for big men, it's tough to be that type of person anyways, obviously. But
let me do this. Let me close the show up, and then we can have this.
okay, close it up. I think you'll agree.
I don't want to keep y'all waiting for too long. Y'all, if y'all want to hear the combo afterwards, please stay tuned. But hope y'all enjoyed it. And you know, please take care, drive safely, have a good one. Take care.
Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I gotta go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here, too.